This edition of Up Close with Colin Thompson is brought to you by the Port Royal Golf Course.
And welcome back. Mr. Lambert, before we go any further,
Yes, sir.
just want to shed a bit more light on some of your colleagues, that are assisting you, on your team.
Yes. We have Mr. Jason Jackson, who's the head superintendent, Port Royal Golf Course. This all wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for the ground staff. He couldn't come today because they're still mowing greens, cutting rough, fairways. They're pretty much on. It's like in American football when they have 2 days for practice. These guys are going all day long. It kind of hurts us a little overtime. The board looks at me and says, "Hey, how long these guys can?" I said, "Look, you want the course in good condition? This is what needs to be done, right?" And then obviously we have people in our merchandise tent, in our pro shop, Judy Scott, Melissa Burgess, Danny Carrero. We have our director of finance, admin, and HR, who she handles all the money. She can continue to do that because she's good at it. I did that for a little bit when I was the assistant director. I'll stick to being a head golf professional for now. I hope I'm not leaving anybody out, but that's mainly our core crew. Outside services, the outside service supervisor, Mr. Chris Gibbons, Lamar Cross, Micah Rattery, Gregory Sampson, and also from time to time we have Justin Simmons. Drew, I leave anybody out?
No. Nick Jones was mentioned already.
Yes.
But he is a part of these staff.
Nick Jones
as well.
is a very important part of our staff. He works outside, inside. He teaches along with us Monday through Friday. On our days off, we're still working. We like to say we never have days off because if you're teaching, you're working. But we enjoy doing that just like we do admin. So
And Javon, since the rest of your colleagues.
Yeah,
on your
so
team.
we're led by Danielle Bianco, which is our tournament director, and then it's myself. We have Dee Dee Cooper, who does a lot of our merchandising and our charity aspect. Arden Vickers does our volunteers. We have Georgia Beckett, who oversees all of our social media and marketing, and then Jordan Swan, who's the assistant marketing coordinator. So that's our core group, and then we have a bunch of people that come in to help us do the event. Who work on other events. So. It's a good team. Mostly everyone has been here before who's coming in to help, and it's working really well.
And of course, all the volunteers that come up there and do their various.
Yeah, we have over 600 volunteers.
Wow,
it's a big operation, and without the volunteers' help, we wouldn't be able to put on an event like this and of this magnitude. So, I just want to publicly thank all the volunteers who come out and give their time, to the golf course and to the event, because they're a very, very intricate part of making this event a success.
And how the ticket sales going this year?
Ticket sales are going really well. We saw a big uptick in ticket sales after we had the qualifier, because I think people they saw who qualified and through the media and yourself involved in that as well. And they wanted to come out and see Mike and Jared and Nick and Kim, come and show their stuff on the big stage. So we're under 150 tickets left per day. So I would encourage people, if not to be disappointed, go out and get those tickets now. We're going all digital tickets this year, so people will have to purchase their tickets online. www.butterfieldbdachampionship.com. The general admission tickets are $35. Digicel Business Ocean Club tickets are $250. That's out on the 16th hole, our hospitality spot. This is an event that you don't want to miss. Absolutely.
And just to go back to two of the pros that are confirmed already, PGA Tour players, Donald and Glover. Between them, they've won multiple titles on the tour, PGA Tour. Glover's case, he's actually won a major, the US Open, and also was victorious here in the Grand Slam.
Yeah.
What do you think about these guys' track record?
I mean, it's hard to win on a high level, and for Lucas to win the U.S. Open at Bethpage, which is probably one of the hardest golf courses that they play on tour. You know, that just says something about how good his game is. And speaking of Lucas, he's actually good friends with Michael Sims. So these guys will be going head to head this week, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of banter between those two. You know, so I'll be excited to see, you know, how Mike does against Lucas, and you know, and just it's interesting to see the camaraderie with all the guys on tour. Like, even they're competing against each other, but you know, they're welcome to kind of come and take a look at their mate's swing and maybe offer a few little pointers, and you know, it's really cool to kind of watch that aspect of it.
You know, it's interesting you said that, because when I was interviewing Willie Mack after he won the APG event last week, you know, he expressed the same. He says, you know, I've got mixed feelings. You know, basically he was happy to win, but he also felt for some of his peers, you know, his rivals who had a chance and, you know, maybe didn't go off, because they're such a tight-knit, you know, family, although they are rivals. Saw the same thing with at the qualifier. Right after the qualifier, Sims was out there on the putting green with Dwayne Pearman,
Right.
another Put Royal legend. And you know, after 18 holes, you know, they're still got energy to go out there and you know, refine their craft. Just shows the level of commitment and also the camaraderie and et cetera.
That exists throughout the entire industry. A lot of you guys, I call Javon, I talk to Steven. Steven and I, we're talking about golf daily. Different techniques and movements and stuff in his swing. I call Javon whenever I've got a big tournament. I call Javon. We have an hour or two conversation where he's just giving me mental thoughts to focus on and just help the brain to tune in. Just before this interview, I got off the phone with Jared Dillis, just talking about missing laugh, like how to, you know, prevent myself from missing laugh. So like, we all within this industry, like we are rivals because we're playing against each other, but we're rooting for each other at the same time. Like, if it's not me, it's you. If it's not him, it's you. But we're all happy to see whoever's there, because we know whoever's there deserved it, because we all had the same opportunity. We all play the same course, and we all respect the game. We love what we do.
Yeah. And if you're not trying to learn and teach better than you did yesterday, then why are you doing it?
Why you're playing, right?
Yeah.
Is the game growing in Bermuda?
Yes. Well,
Try to get a tee time on the weekend at any golf course.
Yeah, exactly. Well, ask Javon. Like, watch the amount of kids on Saturday when they come to the junior clinic.
Yeah.
It's the kids that they're into it. Golf is cool now. It's no longer that sport that it's just like, oh, you know, overweight man play that game in the afternoon, and you know, it's becoming the thing to do, and it's outside. To get your kids outside, they're not in front of the TV all day playing video games. So yeah, it's great.
It's interesting you say that, because I've seen it evolve. You know, the athlete, you know, before, yes, the guys were,
Tiger effect.
you know, they weren't, you know, in that sort of condition you see today, all due respect to the predecessors, their predecessors. But, you know, it has, and I think there's more emphasis now being placed, whereby years prior, it might have been taken for granted.
Yeah.
So you think Tiger had a big influence on that?
100%.
I agree.
When you know, if you talk to any of these guys that are coming next week and you ask them, you know, who is your inspiration to play golf? I bet you anyone under 40 would say Tiger.
Yeah,
I agree.
I can agree with that.
That's why I play
Everybody
golf.
here, all three of us.
Yeah.
So I'm involved in golf.
I know, you know, I think I can speak for every Bermudian here. I think we would all love to see Tiger come here. What's the chances of that happening?
0.
Not even for a vacation.
I asked him today at work. I asked him. I said, "Is Tiger coming?"
Before Javon speaks on it real quick, we don't have enough rooms. This guy, he moves the needle. He changes the entire game. We're struggling for rooms now. Javon could speak on it, but it's the guy. He just moves the needle. It's like Michael Jackson. It's Michael Jordan. It's Kobe Bryant. But he's the highest of all of them. He
Tell me about the women. Beyonce knows. Serena Williams.
Yes, Serena. But he changed it to where he is the needle. He don't move it. He is the needle. When he shows up, you got to order triple of whatever you thought you were gonna get.
I don't know who it was, but they mentioned that some time ago that Bermuda just didn't have the infrastructure to accommodate Tiger because of that factor what he brings to the table,
Remains
the
true.
volume, the following.
Yeah.
Is that so?
I will speak on this. I had a personal experience with Tiger Woods. One of my favorite golf stories.
Yeah, you're a lucky young man.
Look, my friend, a very close friend of mine, he won tickets to the Masters.
You might as well say his name now.
Mr. Walter Jackson, the father of our superintendent, Mr. Jason Jackson. Very good friend of mine. He won tickets to Augusta. I shared information with him to sign up for a lottery, and he actually won in the lottery. And I said, if you win the lottery tickets, you gotta take me. So that was our agreement. Not thinking he actually won. He actually won Sunday tickets to the Masters in 2019.
Wow.
And Tiger made the cut and ended up winning on the Sunday. So we followed Tiger on the Sunday run, and just like, let me tell you, everybody makes birdies on Sundays. Yeah, everybody. But when Tiger makes a birdie at Augusta on Sunday, the sound is different. Like if you ever go into a football game in England or American football game, any sort of big stadium, even tennis, when they cheer for Serena, if you hear a Tiger roar, that's what they call it, a Tiger roar. It is a different sound. You know, even if you're not watching Tiger, you know that's a Tiger roar. You can tell the difference. It's so like it's giving me goosebumps just talking about it. But it's just unreal, man. It's to watch him and to see him in that zone. He walked right past me. I was invisible. I'm not gonna lie, I was invisible to him. But he walked past me and he was just in his zone. You know, he pushed one a little right, came out, put it 6 feet, made birdie, and the crowd. It's just
Crazy.
It's crazy, man. It's nothing I've ever experienced before.
Wow, amazing! You're very, very blessed
Yeah.
to have witnessed that.
And just one small note.
We telling
No.
Tiger stories.
No. I just want to let you know where I was while this was going on. I was running a Pool Royal monthly medal during my birthday.
On your birthday.
On my birthday, well, he was at Augusta, so that's my Tiger story.
Okay, all right, okay. You know what's coming.
Someone sounds a little better.
So expectations for this year.
You know, I expect another good event. You know, we have a really good group of vendors, a really good group of sponsors, a really good group of colleagues, and I have every faith that we're going to put on another great event, and it'll go as smoothly as it can.
Yeah.
I'm certainly looking forward to it.
I think this is going to be the best one yet.
Why?
Post-COVID, we've done it 3 times already. No hurricanes so far, knock on wood. We have a great team. The chemistry is there. Bruno Events team has a lot of Bermudians that they've taken a part of the team, and to work with them is almost seamless. It's a pleasure to work with Mr. Roberts.
I second that.
Mr. Lambert in his role, I really enjoy. So like just as in my position to see it, I just feel like we have the best combination of factors, and I just really think this is going to be the best one yet. The hospitality tents are all set up. They look amazing. We have a new pro shop. Our pro shop's going to be bigger. It's going to have AC in it. It's going to be all closed in. Like, AC is key, right? But just the layout, the design, Mr. Jackson and his team, the agronomy team. When I say this is the best I've ever seen this course, I've been there since 2010. This is the best condition. I'm talking about boundaries, just the little gardens, the little bushes, the flowers, the
details.
grass.
Attention to detail.
I mean, the bunkers. Every aspect of this course on a grounds level is the level has gone to here, and it's really a phenomenal job by Mr. Jackson and his team. Like, I mean, world class. And we are aiming to be the best in the Caribbean and eventually best in the world. Those are Mr. Jackson's words, so I'm sharing them on his behalf. But I think we can be one of the best in the world by far, because what I've seen in just a year, when he has time and the course is adapted to these new the patterns that he cuts them in, and just how he trains the grass, like it's. Next year, we're going to say it's even better than last year. And I'm saying that now.
it's interesting because earlier when Steve mentioned my good friend Gregory Sampson, former opening batsman, cricketer, Western Stars.
Yes.
It just and also talking about the ground staff. It just reminded me the relations that cricket groundsmen and the superintendents, etc., have, because we go to the golf courses to get the grass shavings to prepare our strips, our betting tracks. And also, I remember, when Sheridan Rayner was around, he had a good rapport with the mechanics, and if we had trouble with the mower or whatnot, they assisted us. So that kind of threw me back there. It was a good relationship, between golf groundsmen and cricket groundsmen. And then you mentioned Dee Cooper. He's it's just fabulous. Does a fabulous job in Bermuda sailing. I mean,
She does,
she's just on point. You know what I mean? And a great ambassador for the sport and servant for the sport of sailing. And now showing her versatility. And getting involved with golf. So credit to you, Dee and Gregory.
Hey, her golf's coming. I gave her a couple of golf lessons.
Okay.
You'll see her soon.
Breaking news. So obviously number 16 up there is the signature hole. Everyone talks about 16.
Yes.
Obviously, you got Pompano Beach in the back, and it's awesome. Just spectacular view. Are there any other particular holes up there that our golfers find a bit of a challenge or whatnot or like?
Really quickly, I definitely say our par threes played probably one of the hard. Besides,
on tour.
3, 8, 13. Was 16 involved? 16 too. Probably some of the strongest on tour. When it winds up, now I'll just play number 8 for you real quick. If most of these guys don't experience this type of wind, and if it's at the back and the wind's coming off a Pompano, they might think, you know what, I'm hitting it straight at the pin. It gets across those trees, straight course. Yeah. Our par 3 is surprising, and the length of them, because it might be 200 yards, but if you got a 45-mile-an-hour wind in your face, these guys are hitting 3-wood.
Just to go back to the players themselves, you see them up there, and you're looking at the scores. And these guys are going way below, and you're like, wow. They make it look so easy, don't they?
They hit it really well.
It's, these guys are the best in the world at playing golf. And golf is not hard, but it's not easy. It's very hard. And for these guys to be playing it that well, it just shows you just how talented, these guys are. And they work really, really hard on their craft, So, I mean, I like talking to the guys and say, hey, what's your schedule like? It's like, well, I'm up at 5 and I'm working out to 6, and then I hit balls from 6 to 8, and it's an all day job. It's their job. It's not a hobby like Kevin Kisner would say. This ain't no hobby. They do it for a living, right? So, and they work hard, and they pay attention to their bodies. They pay attention to their mindset. They have swing coaches and mental coaches and nutritionists and all that type of stuff. It's big business, and it's a big sport, and it's only growing more and more. I think, and Stevie could probably attest to this, our membership numbers at Port Royal boomed like during COVID.
Yes.
Because that was one of the few things that people can come out and do, right? Between golf and tennis. So if you talk to like Gavin Manders, is a really good friend of mine. Like, so many people are out playing tennis now that they started in COVID, because there was so many other things to do pre-COVID that they never really thought about trying out, coming to play golf or tennis, but now they've come and experienced it, and now they're hooked. So our membership at Port Royal jumped tremendously, and our rounds of golf jumped tremendously because now people see how good and how much fun golf is, and how healthy it is, and being outside, and they fall in love with the sport like we have.
It's actually interesting because I have observed myself, a lot of athletes, particularly football. I've seen a lot of footballers lately, that have gravitated to the sport, and they're out there 24/7 now, and some of them have gotten away from football altogether at a young age. They've still got years left in football, but they're like, I'm going with this golf team.
Interesting story. Drew and I, we sometimes play Kyle Lightbourne and Twilly Smith at Belmont. Fun game, might have a little something on the side, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, he's the national squad coach, and in between when he comes back, whether it's Ocean View or Port Royal, he's like, you guys are running from. We're like, y'all don't want to get into national squad games. We can play whenever. We live here, Like, we know you're not practicing while you're away. Don't think that. You never know what's happening. So it's the banter that he would give on the football field. He's now put it into golf, and it just fuels you to get better and better. And he might be left-handed, but he plays pretty good.
And in my experience, I've played and taught as well some former sprinters, former football players. Right now, one of my favorite students, because he's a very active student, he's an active learner, Dwayne Slugger Levra. That's one of my, he hits me up every day. Coach, what do you think about this? He shares all his scores with me. I have tennis players who trying to, like he mentioned, Gavin. It's a few different walks of life that you're gonna find in this golf world, and no matter where they start their athletic careers, they all, I'm not omitting anybody, they 100%. All finish with golf. It doesn't matter. We could do the Clyde Bass tournament. He already mentioned Kyle. Naki Rao's father plays a lot, and when Naki is on the island, he plays a lot of golf. So it's I mean, we have DJs out there playing golf, like it all walks of life, chefs, it doesn't matter. Everybody ends up playing golf. So the sport's growing. Steven and I started a new initiative. I don't know if anybody's going to Top Golf in the States, but we are doing sip and swing on the back end of the PGA Tour. So you'll be able to come to the driving range with your group of friends, hit bowls, unlimited bowls, have some drinks served, and enjoy some music, light refreshments on the driving range. And that's something we're going to carry right through to the winter. And hopefully summertime, it kicks up where it's like, we can do all sorts of things with the sip and swing. But sip and swing is going to be one of our big initiatives on the back end of the PGA Tour event to get even more people playing golf. You don't need any bowls, you don't need clubs. All you need is your friends. Show up, get your favorite drink. We'll give you the bowls and the clubs, and you just enjoy yourself. We'll be there to give instructions to those who welcome it. We're not trying to teach you if you don't want to learn, but if those who want a few pointers here and there, we'll be there and available to learn. And it'll be a very fun, laid-back Friday environment where it's like happy hour on the driving range, and you got some, some golf.
And now you may say, well, how you gonna do that? Daylight savings. Well, interesting enough, we just put in lights. So we will have lights on the driving range come the end of this week. They're still putting the electricity together and sorting that out, and I'm sure Mr. Roberts is very happy with that for the players in the morning.
That helps us. That helps us tremendously, and I think we have to thank Digicel for their huge contribution to making that possible. So thank you Digicel for stepping in and putting some lights up, and they're also very involved with us on the PGA Tour, with their sponsorship of the Ocean Club out on 16, so they're huge advocates for golf. They're huge advocates for growing the game, and they're putting their money where their mouth is and showing it, and we do appreciate that 100%.
Awesome. Just speaking, going back to Naki Rao's, there was a video clip on social media yesterday, and he's actually on the tee box being interviewed, before he's about to tee off, and it was funny, because as he talks, you start hearing a bit of his English accent that he's acquiring, over the years, and then going back to the local qualifier, Carl Lightbourne actually caddied for his dad, Michael Rouse, who was a former teammate of mine at Dandy Time. So that was interesting. The national coach was caddying for the father of the national captain.
I never thought
that's how it is.
So that was interesting. Javon, you mentioned about helping to raise money for charity.
Like what happens with the volunteers aspect is we're able to give for every volunteer that signs up and they do their 3 shifts. We'll donate $200 to their charity of their choice. So it's a good way for us to kind of raise money for the locals, and people come out and support us that way as well.
Now, you and Steven in particular, you guys practically grew up on the golf course. Like Kamiko and Dwayne and Canal Beans, another one. You know, a lot of talented golfers come up from that White Hill area.
Right here we are. Spring Bandit.
So does that make it extra special to have this enormous event that it is practically in your backyard?
I mean, for me, my grandma and grandpa's house is in Spring Bandit. My family homestead is right at the top of White Hill. So I would say walking 2 big masters with my uncle when I stayed there for a significant part of my life. I always wanted to be a PE teacher, but I played golf. My daddy forced me to play golf in the beginning. You see my height, I played basketball, played a little bit of football down the back. Realized, you know what, you're a benchman in football. Stick to basketball and golf. A benchman, yeah. I'll be honest. You know, that wasn't my thing. But just to think of back in the day, walking through the golf course with the dogs and just being like, you know what? Okay, it's in my backyard, but I'm never going to work here one day. To now be the head professional, one of 6, like I said, it's a complete honor.
And I think that's what kind of fuels our passion for the event. It's because, you know, we grew up there. It's our island. You know, it's our golf course. Like, this is a part of who we are. You know, so I feel like that really motivates us to make this event as good as we can. You know, so we only wanted to see it do well, and we'll do anything to make sure that it goes off as well as possible.
I must say, I have to echo your sentiments because, you know, a time ago, I lived at White Hill. Okay. Grew up there. I think I moved out in 1982. Okay. And so, yes, you know, that was a huge part of my childhood. You know, I used to walk to and from school. We used to cut across Port Royal. I never played around a golf there, but I can tell you where every fruit tree is.
Sound like a night farm.
No. We always had a scout for Mr. Van Putten. Sure. When you heard the Ranger come, you better get cracking. Yeah. But no, those were some awesome times. And so, yes, I can empathize with you. How you feel, you know, because I do feel a bit of that, although, you know, I've left White Hill decades ago. Anyhow, folks, we're just going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more in just a moment.
This edition of Up Close with Colin Thompson is brought to you by the Port Royal Golf Course.